G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the northeast side of the map, we've got Fix, who is going to be playing the Delhi Sultanate for us today. The Delhi Sultanate for us today. They're going to be starting off with a scout, obviously. Going to be looking to train one up as well. So going for that double scout opening. The map is, of course, Lipany. This map has got slightly more berry bushes than what you would typically expect, and so as a result, it means players are probably going to be looking for those berry civilizations like the Delhi Sultanate, or like on the other side of the map, where we've got the one, the only, the Viper, playing as the Abbasid dynasty. I'll be honest, that wasn't my best the Viper ever. I feel like I kind of let him down there. So, look, Viper, if you're watching this, mate, apologies. You know what? I'm going to give you another go. We'll do it again. One more time. All right. The one, the only, the Viper. No, it's not working. Not today, not today. All right, maybe we don't cast so many Viper games today because for anybody wondering, Viper has returned. He's been on a little bit of a hiatus, and look, there's a good reason why. He's just been having fun in AoE 2, and sometimes that's it. I think him and I, somewhat birds of a feather in that regard. You know, I've been off playing League of Legends. He's been off playing AoE 2, and now we're sort of making our way back to the scene. We're looking up towards AoE 4. Viper playing, me casting. But it's great to see him out here on the Abbasid. He was always a big fan of the Abbasid, I would say. Both him and Doubt. I remember in the early stages of the game, they loved these two civilizations. Actually, now that I think about it, him, Doubt, as well as the Mister, love the Abbasid. So great to see him playing it here. And I love to see the Abbasid as a civilization that is picked more and more often. I think it's an incredibly strong civilization if utilized the right way. But it really comes down to making the most of that economic wing. So seeing if you can get away with a 2 or even a 3 TC, boom, that's what I'm talking about. Is Viper going to be doing something similar here? Who knows? He's actually forgotten his House of Wisdom. Viper, you got to get that bad boy down, my friend. There it goes down now. Okay, hopefully he hasn't forgotten it, if you guys know what I mean. I'm looking, it's pretty close to a forget. It looks like his age up here going to be delayed significantly. 8 idle villagers going to be sitting inside the town center. Does take out Fix's scout and picks up a little bit of a nice bounty right there. 4 sheep being turned over to Viper. So indeed he's, you know what? He's actually looking pretty good because of the fact that he idled the villagers there. It actually doesn't affect him in an adverse way. And you can see there, he does the force drop off. Now he's ready to click up. Let's see which wing he takes. Boom, economic wing. He goes with the economic wing right there. Already starting down with a lumber camp. We are breaking down this build order today. We are having a look at exactly what Viper is up to with his Abbasid dynasty, because at the moment it looks like he is just leaning towards that standard play. 8 villagers on food, still quite a lot. Obviously in the transition period he's going to be looking to get out as many villagers as he can, but now we can see the very first villager heading out to stone, and that to me indicates we may indeed have a double town center opening. So we'll keep an eye. The alternative is that we you know, I've done this before. I did this with Beastie and I thought, oh yep, here we go, the classic 2 town center opening. No, it was a tower rush. It was a tower rush. So let's see if he does something similar or whether he looks to go for that. To me, it indicates, or to me, what's being indicated is that he is looking to get enough gold for his fresh foodstuffs, which he's got now. So probably going to be pulling this villager off sooner rather than later. And then behind this, obviously working towards that 2 town center construction. But we'll see how his opponent's doing. Fix, we'll see what he's up to. He's got 4 villagers at the moment on that Dome of the Faith, looking to get it up nice and quick. Already got the efficient production out. He's already onto piety, so very early. Hasn't picked up forestry. A little bit of a mistake right there from Fixed. A little bit of a Delhi mistake right there. But obviously did lose that 1 scout. Still got that 2nd scout out on the map, running around, doing its thing. We'll check back in with Viper, see how he is tracking along. You can see 51 stone in the bank right there. Gonna be able to age up. Very nice age up times here. So one of the things I would note is that not only did Viper in this situation put a few vills in the town center and take out that scout, but he manages still to get up at a great time, 424. So I think that the Abbasid dynasty, very strong. I'm stumbling over my words here because I don't even know how to describe it. But yeah, I think they're going to be a very potent threat with the most recent buffs. Delhi as well, another civilization to keep an eye out. But I think to play into the Abbasid's biggest strengths, what you're going to need to do is really just focus on that economic wing. I think that's the only real way that you can play Abbasid. And you look, if I'm a developer and I'm watching this right now, you know, one of the things I would just flag with you guys, Abbasid, a little bit one-dimensional. You know, I say that, but we did actually watch Hera in the most recent video that I uploaded, he was playing the Abbasid dynasty as well. And he actually just went for the old classic 1 town center for 35 minutes build order. So that's always an option, but you know, you're always going to get outscaled. So, I don't know. I feel like maybe the Abbasid's a bit one-dimensional. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below, because I'm sure the devs do come eventually over and say g'day. Do you think that the Abbasid is too one-dimensional? Do you think that they're always somewhat put into this 2 town center opening? And look, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, but on land maps, it seems like it's really the only option for them that is viable. So that's a really big thing to note. So we'll just head over to Fix's side of the map. We'll see exactly what he's up to. Going to be dropping down a blacksmith nice and early. Already got that efficient, or rather that sanctity on the way in. Now probably going to be looking for professional scouts. Indeed, he is. Less than 2 minutes left on that bad boy. Also going to be going for that double broadaxe after he finishes his forestry. A little bit late on that one, but we'll forgive him. And also getting in his specialized pick. We'll take a look and see what kind of upgrades he looks to get. He's also actually getting the hardened spearman upgrade. So he is getting absolutely all of his upgrades and playing it immaculately at this point. Also making plenty of scholars. So I wouldn't be surprised when he does actually get that sanctity in. He's going to be in a great position. And you can actually see the spearman coming out over here on this side and beginning to clear the road for those inevitable scholars that will make their way down towards this position. But I do like this kind of playstyle from the Deli in that we've got you know, he's going professional scouts to bring his hunt in. He's going to be able to go and take out all 3 sacred sites relatively early. Will we actually see him try and put some outposts down? That's something that we'll have to wait. We'll have to see. But for the most part, it looks like he's just going to sort of stick to keeping those upgrades in and now going to be adding in that archery range. But let's take a look back at Viper. Viper now has completely stopped gathering up that stone. You can see right there, the scout is just hovering. He does actually spot the sheep out, but has dropped that second town center down. Got it very nice and close to the berries back here. Still no economic upgrades from the mill, from the mining camp, from the lumber camp. Absolutely nothing coming in just yet for him, but it does look like he is thinking a little bit about his infrastructure, has scouted out his opponent, does see that there's a few spears coming out, and probably knows that sanctity is on the way at this point. Probably knows, okay, well, if sanctity's on the way and there's spears coming out, let's do something so that we can actually stop and counteract these spears. And now he's going to spot these scholars coming out. You can see the scout running over. He's going to begin attacking them, and he knows he needs to stop these bad boys. So he's going to be sending out archers immediately. You can see them rallied over towards this point, and take a look at this. We've got ourselves a little bit of the walling of the sacred site. Not a bad job getting it out here, but my concern is it's coming in a little bit late. If this had come in about a minute ago, or even, you know, 2 minutes ago, then he would have been fine. I do say that, but he is already walling down here in this position, yet to wall up on this point. Sanctity now complete. 1, 2, 3 sacred sites. Going to be going over towards the Deli player, and we can see he's doing a great job. A great job here, Viper. Doing a great job of denying out that sacred site, but has actually given that one up. Now the archer going to be coming in, going to be able to stand on that point, but now we've also got the counter archers coming in from Fix. So he's going to be able to maintain a pretty decent mass. Now, what Viper's going to need is not only a second archery range, he's probably going to need +1 as well if he wants to be fighting this out in the second age. And to be honest, you don't want to let Deli sit here on these 3 sacred sites because they're going to hit you with that timing. Remember, when it comes to these sorts of... The way I like to think about it is a graph in my head. And you need to picture... Viper at the moment, he's sitting on a very progressive graph. It's going to take some time for him to reach his peak. Whereas with Deli, you capture your 3 sacred sites and you are just like, boom, baby, let's go. And then for the rest of the game, it's very slow. Like, you continue moving upwards, but it's a very slow. Compared that over to Viper, though, it's going to be much slower for him. So what is my point? My point is that if Viper doesn't neutralize these sacred sites, doesn't prevent them from being taken, that he's going to be in a bit of a difficult spot because he is playing a similar game to his opponent. It's just that his opponent peaks earlier. So we'll have to see how he manages it. And you can see that he's actually coming in now. Going to be able to pick up the scholar on the sacred site. Still hasn't closed off this wall. And it's going to mean that the scholar is actually going to be taken out here. It's sitting on 130 health, so it's not doing bad. 1 sacred site taken. 2nd sacred site taken. 3rd sacred site now is going to get neutralized before it's able to get captured. So doing a pretty decent job. But look at this. Viper wasn't actually paying attention. He's trying his best to get the scholar down to 0 health, but he's not going to have a whole lot of luck because his archer does go down as well. It's all right. There's reinforcements. It is okay. The archers continue to beeline towards that scholar, and down she goes. So he's got him sitting on 2 sacred sites at the moment. I think that's pretty decent. I don't think you need to... like, obviously you want to try and fight for the other two, and we can see Viper really is looking to fight in the second age. 4 barracks or 4 archery rangers coming out. He's got the blacksmith down, so if he wants to go for a +1, he's going to be able to do that. And now we can see the archers beginning to push out from his opponent. +1 is on the way, actually is already through, so +1 range defense here. So he's got to be very careful here, because even though it looks like he might have a decent mass, his units are going to be doing 20% less damage against these bad boys over here until he gets that +1 upgrade. But we'll check in with Fix. We'll see how Fix is doing, and you can see the powerhouse of economy that is coming through right now for Fix. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. So when you're playing the Deli, I really think it's important just to try and get a presence out on the map nice and early, the same way that Fix has done here. Very smart move. He's got out a huge amount of forces at this stage, and now he's looking to begin transitioning that into his age 3. That's the big thing. He's got his professional scouts out, still yet to bring in any of these deer. So he's actually got 3 deer there, 4 deer there, and he's got 7 deer out here. So even just 1 scout is all you need to just bring that in slowly and help yourself a huge amount. You can see there's 27 villagers on this food at the moment. That is a lot of food. Or rather, that is a lot of villagers gathering food. But now going to be slowly looking towards that 3rd age as the battering ram begins, breaking down the walls for Viper. He's going to be looking to make his enemy pay, because these archers have now got their +1 in, so they're doing 5 damage to their enemies, and going to be looking to pick up +1 ranged armor as well. And Viper continues applying pressure towards the front. Now, the big thing is for Fix, he needs to get up to the 3rd age, and then he needs to get his men-at-arms out. He needs to look to get the owned blades upgrade, so we'll have to see whether he's going to be doing that. And indeed he is. Take a look at that. 28 villages on that bad boy. He is looking to get up yesterday, and he's going to be able to repel this attack at the front. You can see he's got no food in the bank because he had all of his food-gathering villagers on that landmark. And now looking to age up, immediately gets that own blade in the queue. So he's going to be looking at transitioning into men-at-arms, which is the correct play in this position. But he's going to be losing, at the very least, this first sacred site. Probably going to be losing out his 3rd sacred site as well. But it does look like we've got a sacred site. Oh my lord, look how close Viper was to not being able to neutralize that one. But it does look like the scholars are going to go down. You know what he really should do? Bring down 2 scholars. That way they can heal each other up. That'd be a super smart move. Sacred site now going to be neutralized by Viper. Doing a great job. Picks up the second one in the middle as well. Forces that one off. And Fix is in a bit of a difficult spot. I mean, he's got plenty of gold in the bank. He can just focus on food collection at the moment. You know, head out over to these berries. Head up over to these berries. You know, send 10 villagers out each way. Get a little outpost on it. He's going to be absolutely fine, especially playing as the Deli. The Deli are one of the civilizations that can actually get away with just playing 1 TC, because essentially the way that they play is they play 1 TC up until like maybe 18, 19 minutes. Then they begin gathering stone, get their first keep up, and then they start researching. You know that beautiful research they've got? I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but Delhi have got that unique technology that allows their keeps to act as town centers, and that's really where the Delhi begin to start making waves when it comes to their economy. We'll check in with Viper. We'll see how he's doing. He's sitting on 62 villagers at the moment. Compare that over to his opponent, who sits on 40 at the moment. So a pretty significant difference there between the two. But do note there is obviously a sacred site that's gone over towards Fix's side compared to Viper, who's got none. When it comes to relics, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 relics that are out on the map that I can see at the moment. So I think that Fix has probably looked to pick up 1. But we'll have to check in with him and see how he's doing. Am I blind? Is there a 5th relic somewhere that I can't see? Potentially. 1, 2. Yeah, there is. Right here in the middle. What am I doing? Silly Billy. So it looks like at this point in time, Fix is going to lose his last sacred site. All of that passive gold is now gone. So he's sitting on 865 gold. And that's pretty much it for Delhi. At least that's the way I feel. I feel like at this point in the game, now that he has lost the sacred sites, he's kind of lost the game, because his win condition is to keep those sacred sites and hold those sacred sites after he's captured them, and then just try and force his enemy into fights and really just trading. That's the big thing with the Delhi. You just want to trade your enemy out so that you are, you know, you're losing units, but they're losing units. But the good news is you've got 600 gold a minute passive that's coming in, and so you're just able to continue replacing units. Now we see the war elephants beginning to make their march out as Viper looks to put a bit of a defensive posture in towards this central sacred site. Battering ram continuing to batter away at the walls there. We'll check back in with Viper, see how he's doing, as he's actually got the first Lancer of the game coming out here as well. Men-at-Arms looking to make their way around, and we can see that is there a couple of crossbows in there? There are indeed 4 crossbows now coming out here as well. Lance are going to be running in and taking away its Lance, it seems, or its Joust, and that Tower War Elephant doing an absolute huge amount of work right there as it forces back the forces of Viper. Viper heading back into the Stealth Forest now. Second Lancer going to be coming out. You can see it's only got that +1 upgrade at this point in time. Not a whole lot of research done on these bad boys just yet, but it's doing a great job, they are doing a great job of just chasing down this War Elephant. You can see the second one actually going to be coming out here as well. Now, the difficult thing for Fix is these are very expensive when it comes to gold, and he doesn't actually have any of his Sacred Sites left. Now, if he had his Sacred Sites still, I would be absolutely okay with this, but he doesn't. He needs every single bit of gold that he can get right now because he needs to go into mass Men-at-Arms, and he's just unable to do it. And you can see he's putting down the barracks now. At this point in time, he's got 4 Men-at-Arms on the way. He's got 2 more barracks coming out, but it's just not going to be enough. You can see that the Own Blades is coming through, but my fear is that he's going to have nowhere near enough gold at this stage. So he's going to be having to move villagers. You can see he's got 36 villagers down here on this southern patch of berries. Another patch of berries just to the outside of his base. Has he not uncovered that? I think he's probably spotted 2 of those bushes, but might not have registered. Sometimes you can spot 2, but it won't actually show you the little green icon down there. So maybe that's what's happened. Obviously, the spectator replay is bugged, so we don't actually know what he is seeing. But maybe that's the case. So yeah, interesting to see Viper with a couple of archers just hanging out up towards the north of the base, but Viper doing incredibly well. And now, one thing I will commend the Viper on at this stage is his production. Look how many buildings this guy has got to produce out of right now. 4 stables, 4 archery ranges. This guy is absolutely popping off when it comes to this. So incredible stuff from him. And now Viper going to be heading back towards this outpost that he's got up. He's outnumbered and outgunned quite significantly at this point. Probably going to even have to fall back from this outpost before the villagers manage to get it down. Still yet to capture any of these Sacred Sites. Viper doing a great job of preventing those from coming down. And really, that's been the name of the game here. Honestly, if there's one thing to take away from this game, it's the way that Viper has neutralized these Sacred Sites consistently. And if you are playing up against a Delhi player, you need to be doing this constantly. You cannot let them just have these Sacred Sites, you know, down at the bottom, up at the top, just sitting there. Send out the single Lancer. Send out an archer or 2. Go in and neutralize those Sacred Sites. You can see these 2 archers up to the north, still just waiting, standing by. And eventually, if there's any movement on this Sacred Site, they're just going to be making their way downtown, walking fast. You know, singing Vanessa Carlton, all that kind of good stuff. 1,000 miles, all that good stuff. Plenty of crossbows coming out. You guys know, when it comes to crossbows out on the field, there's one unit that does better than any against them. The Mangonel. Do we see a Mangonel switch from Fix? A Mangonel switch is what can save him. Now, he should know that there is significantly more crossbows out on the field than there should be. It doesn't look like we've got any siege coming down for him just yet. He's playing the Delhi. So he's not going to have access to build the Mangonels out on the field like his Abbasid opponent. Looking to move towards the goal. There's a couple of villages out here, but keep in mind, Viper sitting on 87 villages here. Even if he does lose 3, he's going to be down to 84. Not a particularly bad amount of villages to have. But speaking of villages under attack, it looks like villagers going to be going down on the wood line. No. Just going to be forced to retreat. And it does seem like Viper is doing his best to try and keep his enemy just on his own side of the map. But now Viper under a little bit of trouble, as it looks like the elephants are coming in. Now, I suspect we may see a little bit of AC coming down here. And if there's one thing I can't stand, it is animation cancelling. Let's have a look and see. Is he going to go for it? Oh, it doesn't look like he's doing it. This is a man of respect, a man of valor, a man of, or a woman, or, you know, an MB, whatever, however you identify, Fix. I'm just going to assume a man because 99.3% of people who watch my channel identify as a male. And we're going to assume that you represent the larger player base, so you are a man of true respect, of true honor. And now those knights going to be running in at lightning speed, bringing out their scimitars, I think it is? A sword. No, they just have swords. Huge amount of crossbows on the back line, a lot of armored units here, and it looks like we've got a tap out from Fix. He appreciates that Viper is just way too far ahead, too much military, too much economy, too much wham bam, thank you ma'am, and Viper is successful. He's back, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you go check out his YouTube channel. I'll leave a link in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.